Recording. All right. Hi, everyone. I'm Sanjana. I'm an intern with Jay and Jay, back with another fireside chat. I'm here with Lynn. Lynn, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks very much, Sanjana.
All right. So let's get started. Please tell us about your educational and professional backgrounds and the path that you took to get to where you are today.
So I was born and raised in New Jersey. I grew up in Clifton. I went to public school there. After high school, I attended a college in New York City called the Cooper Union, which is a relatively small school of art, architecture, and engineering. I graduated with my bachelor's degree in chemical engineering in 2004. Actually, during that time, I had a really positive summer internship experience, and that confirmed for me that I wanted to enter the workforce after college as opposed to going on to get a master's degree or a PhD. So I went through the job application process and interviews during my senior year. I accepted an offer at Infineum and have been with them ever since. My early roles with the company were technical. They leveraged my engineering background. And over time, I moved more toward leadership positions that were more about enabling other people. I've had a lot of roles in R&D, in manufacturing, in operations, even in marketing. And in every role I've had, I've learned something that I've been able to take forward that helps me do my job better overall. Today, I am the director of Infineum's Strategic Supply and Global Engineering Group, which supports operations in several countries all over the world. I get to work with a great team of people, and what I do, I just find very, very interesting and engaging, and I've never really questioned how I got to where I did. I feel good about the decisions I've made, and a lot of it was just making the most of opportunities that came my way.
That's awesome. And it's good to hear that you sort of found something early on that you really enjoyed and were able to sort of see it through in the professional world. That's really incredible.
Yeah.
All right. So my next question for you is, did you have any significant extracurricular experiences in high school and or college? So clubs, sports, organizations, anything like that, that you feel really helped you later on in your career?
Absolutely. I'm a big proponent of extracurriculars. I was very active in both high school and college in a lot of different things. I did sports. I also had academic activities like science club. I did a chemical engineering society. I did things like, I had my turn as president of the engineering society when I was in college and things like that. And I know it sounds so cliche and so obvious, but I do genuinely believe that it helps me. It helped me become a better teammate. It helped me develop some early leadership skills. But there is something to be said, whether it's technical or not, about working with a group of people all toward a common goal, and the way that you just naturally start to build that skill, to put it another way. And so that was important, but frankly, it was fun. And I think work-life balance, it's something that working people talk a lot about, but it's the same concept when you're in school. It's really important to be balanced. And I know that part of it adds stress because it's a time commitment, and other people, if you're on a team, they're relying on you to do things. But at the same time, I got so much joy out of it that even though in a way it added stress and workload, in a much bigger way, it let me be better balanced, unwind, have friends, have a good time, and then get back to the books.
I absolutely agree. And I'm kind of in that boat as well. Like as a college freshman, I am involved in a lot. And although it is fun, it can add stress to my plate. So I completely understand what you're saying. And I'm sure, even the high school kids, middle school kids out there listening, they can probably relate to that as well, with having a lot of clubs and activities going on, but also having school. So balance is super important. And I'm so happy that you brought that up.
Yeah, I'll also add actually that when I was in high school, I did reach a bit of a tipping point where actually the stress got too much and I had too much going on. And it was, many years later, it seems like, of course, I would have had to shed an activity. But at the time, it was really hard to do because you do feel like you're letting people down if you don't continue with what you've done. But it was the right thing to do. I think there are points at which you have to recognize for yourself, like, I do have too much going on. I need to pick something. And I know that's really, really tough. So for the people who are maybe facing that. Good luck. They're not easy decisions to make, but in the long run, you'll be grateful you did.
I think I needed to hear that, honestly, with some of the college activities I'm doing. But yeah, that's a great point. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, so my next question for you is, what advice would you have to young people who will be embarking on their professional lives soon?
So, when I was in the same place, I was so daunted by the idea that I was setting the course for the rest of my life by choosing a college major, right? Like, I'm 17 years old, talk about pressure. I just spent so much time thinking about what do I want to do and what if I'm wrong. And what I feel now, I wish I could tell my younger self, and using the opportunity to tell other people, there are so many paths available. And yes, we have to make a choice about what we want to do. But I really believe that most of the time, there is no right and wrong answer. They're just different. And they can all be good. And they can all be right. And it's having changed that view, because while I'm no longer thinking about being a teenager and where I want to, spend the next decades of my life, which direction I want to go, I still have big decisions to make. We all do. And applying that kind of mindset is so much more realistic. It's so much more calming. And it's just a sort of mentality that took me a long time to develop, which is, we get different opportunities throughout life. And most of the time we get out of them what we put in. And we should never feel like we can't change our minds. There's always more control than you think. And I wish I would have spent less time worrying about, what if I was wrong, and more time focusing on, what, like, this is going to be great. And if it's not, that's okay too. I can deal. I'll make changes if I need to. You're not stuck. And it's hard to think that way because they are big decisions and they are tough to make. But hopefully it can put people's minds at ease a little bit if they can just realize that, there's a lot of right answers out there. There's a lot of right answers out there.
That was such a great piece of advice. I feel like anyone at any stage of their educational path could really use that piece of advice. So thanks for bringing that up. All right, so that was all I had for the fireside chat, but this was so amazing. I know I personally took a lot out of it, and I'm sure all the students listening will take a lot out of it as well. So thanks again for being here, Lynn.
You're very welcome. I hope that people get a lot of value out of it, and I'm really happy to help, and just wish everybody the best of luck. I know it's easy to talk about and it's really hard to do. So good luck to everybody, and thanks for letting me help.
Right, let me